So I have an ongoing series about giving people better education, but also making it easier for them to graduate to a certain level. And this is kind of an extension of that, combining some old ideas with some new ones. And I would also like to say that with this, is none of these ideas are perfect, but they are synergistic, I believe. Well, one of the first ideas is just to offer more alternative courses, because the more alternative courses, the more one person might find a certain type of course easy for them, or interesting, or useful in the world. And there's such a diversity of things, useful ways of solving problems, that having everyone have the same standardized courses does actually hurt people. I mean, chemistry is such a big field that a ton of different types of chemistry, and so on intersections. But another huge kind of problem with this whole thing is that people oftentimes repeat courses. They'll take the same course in high school sometimes, more than once, sometimes then in college more than once, and sometimes grad school, master's and PhD more than once, and maybe later on in life. Maybe if we have a way that if you have a particularly good grade in a course in certain institutions, you don't have to retake it for a program later on as much. You can think about how better do it. Or if you do a project in a particular course, or something like that, so you don't have to repeat courses as much. A good example of that is EMAG or quantum mechanics or something like that is oftentimes repeated. EMAG, electromagnetism, EM, whatever one calls it, is oftentimes repeated in undergrad and graduate courses. You could also have it that maybe you have to take the course again, but just a refresher, and it's not as serious or as long if you have already taken it somewhere else. And maybe also you can make him count for more credits if, for example, you did a project or something in it. Just some ideas right there. An idea I have discussed at length in other places is maybe you just take a test to so you don't have to actually take the course, and this test can be made very difficult, or it can be made a test that you take repeatedly over time to split into sections to really so that you keep knowing the knowledge, or that if you have disabilities that can't last as long. Well, by last as long, I mean your attention, but you can't sit there for like 2 or 3 hours. Another idea that I want to throw out there is simply that maybe if we have some system where you can take more courses and for a lower grade in each course, still pass instead of taking less courses and a higher grade, or vice versa, to give kids more flexibilities with scheduling wise. Sometimes it's better to have a broad range of knowledge, sometimes it's better to have a particular specialized range of knowledge, and sometimes both. Also, sometimes people hit certain limits with what grades they can do and decrease in return, even for the same amount of effort. So let's say you have a huge handwriting issue, or neatness issue, or something like that. Then no matter how, then maybe it's better to get a lower grade in mobile courses, because that is how much it's just hard for you to overcome that difficulty. That shouldn't be what you just done, but unfortunately, there are people just on that. Or maybe you take more courses and get lower grades, and then because you're just not get along with a lot of teachers, or maybe you forget to turn in assignments, but no matter how little, how many, you still have that problem. Or maybe it's better that you take less courses and really focus on those courses because you're better at remembering them or something, or those are the professors you get along well with. And maybe having it also a semester by semester thing, or figuring out complex scheduling things to work this out. Another idea is to make a way that research could replace some of these courses you have to take if it's a research in an applicable field or just doing research. Another one is to have more lived experiences and stuff count towards you actually graduating as ways out, even though you have to make some to make sure it's suitable and accredited, and it's just not people making up stuff. Another one is to make collaborations between schools and stuff like that, so stuff transfers more easily from out different types of schools. And also so that progression is more linear. So for like course 1 in a sequence is the same, ends up in the same place as course 1 somewhere else. Or you could do testing or something. So when you do course 1, if course 1 is in course 2 and the course doesn't perfectly sync up, that you don't they miss part of the courses later on in the school year, and don't take that section. You only take the section that you haven't gone over. Paid internships that make it so you can actually go to school and get the money you need while learning, even if it takes longer, might really help. And also might give you more real world experience, and especially if they count for some credit towards your graduation. Teaching and lecturing is one of the most important things out there. They say one of the best ways of learning something is if you teach it or lecture someone else, and it also spreads knowledge and teaches you a lot of communication skills. So if we can figure out more ways of incorporating that as a way to get credit, is when you tutor and help out other people. That might be a great way of doing it. A problem that some people are not aware of is that sometimes online courses and stuff from other countries do not transfer very well into the U.S. or other countries, between countries, and figuring out better ways of transferring credits from place to place that are more distant with the countries would be a good idea. And also making the online more global collaborative effort to educate, so we have some standardized system in place. Having the school open all the year round, and having courses that are maybe smaller and have different length time periods might help with people that need, for whatever reason, different type of scheduling or have weird scheduling conflicts. And it might help some people graduate earlier or take breaks and know they can come back at an odd end or time. So that's the idea. And also having maybe more mini courses or something. So yet another idea is to have covered walkways and stuff in between classes, and that will help make it more accessible for people that have trouble in the snow or rain because of mobility issues or so on. It could be used to give shade for people that have heat or sunlight tolerance, and it can be those covered pathways might even have solar cells or something to power a bunch of devices, or who knows what. And also this might be easier to clean up. Another idea to make it whole thing a little more accessible is to have elevators with priorities, and by that I mean that if you're disabled or something like that, it first comes to you through a card or number type in, and therefore you always can get to use the elevator whenever you want. And also the elevator skips, otherwise the elevator has some way of detecting if it's pretty full and will not stop at a location if it's already very full. So and just drop off everyone. Another one is to have teachers and other people just keep on doing credit and stuff like that, even after they graduate, if they're a professor or something, or encouraging more people to take professional development courses and stuff on later on in life so they continue their education. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard. With your help, I think I can do it. Or if you have any of these for future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comment section below. Again, thank you very much. Goodbye.